Going into this election, there has been so much discussion about the unease and unrest that was anticipated, and also a lot of voter intimidation. Thankfully, it does not seem to be so far that is the case. To talk a little bit more about that, let's bring in Erik Tilli. He's the lieutenant for the West Bloomfield Police Department. Great to have you with us here on our post election day special. We appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
From all that I could see publicly that went out and through social media, it appears as if election day went off very smoothly within the city of West Bloomfield.
Yeah, we're happy to report that we had, like the rest of the state, little to no issues at the polling stations, and everything went smoothly.
As far as election days go, this has been a historic election just because of from the sheer number of people, and there was talk about voter intimidation, election intimidation. What did you and members of the staff over at the West Bloomfield Police Department do differently this year?
Well, we upstaffed a little bit. We had more officers on duty and available, more dispatchers on duty and available. Just in case there was some issue, we had more officers patrolling the areas where there are polling stations in the neighborhoods and stuff like that. There were no issues or problems, so we're happy to report that while we did upstaff, we didn't need any of their assistance, so that was fantastic.
That is good to know, but obviously this election is not over yet. We are still waiting for the outcome for the presidency. Many communities, I believe Dearborn, as well as parts of Detroit, and businesses prepared for some type of unrest by boarding up some of the businesses. Have you heard or seen any businesses within our area doing so?
No, I haven't heard anything like that occurring in West Bloomfield. We're pretty fortunate. I think that everyone has taken the approach of that it's everyone's right to vote, and so everyone's expressing their right, which is fantastic. But none of the businesses I'm aware of have taken any precautionary measures, regardless of which way the election comes out.
And we're still waiting for the outcome of the presidential election. Are there any concerns about possible protest here in our area and what that could mean?
So we've heard nothing about any protests in the area. Um, I don't know about other jurisdictions. I think we're going to be just fine out here in West Bloomfield. Everyone seems to be, understanding that this is a right and a freedom that we enjoy here as Americans. And I don't think that there's any rumors or rumblings that there'll be any protests in West Bloomfield.
And I know from a law enforcement standpoint, you can't really talk about your investigative procedures and how you go about gathering information. But knowing that, what do you look for to try to prepare yourself for any unrest that could potentially happen and to be able to get prepared? Because one thing that we saw in the city of Cleveland during their big riots, police were not prepared. They did not anticipate. They thought it was going to be a peaceful protest. It quickly got out of hand. And when you lose that control, devastation can happen. How do you try to balance those two worlds of being prepared but not overstaffing when you don't need to?
That's a great question. One of the ways that we look to seek information is by monitoring various social media platforms. That seems to be a very common way for protesters to garner support and gain interest, is to spread the word, if you will, that there's going to be a protest at this location or that location. So we monitor that. We also share information with our other law enforcement partners in Oakland County to see if they've heard anything. And thus far, we've heard nothing regarding that out here in West Bloomfield, so that's good. To answer your second part of the question about how do we staff that, if we do become aware that there's going to be an issue, obviously law enforcement's a 24/7 operation. Most of our folks understand that they are on call all the time and can be called in a moment's notice. And as a police officer, you get used to that. So if we did have some sort of inkling that there was going to be an issue, we could upstaff with some simple phone calls, and we could just have them standing by. We don't necessarily need to increase our officer presence, but we can have them available if we need them.
Erik Tilli with us here on the Oakland County Megacast. He is a lieutenant with the West Bloomfield Police Department. One thing I have been seeing on my social media is some of the people talking about possibly going around, stealing candidate signs, more presidential, and then burning them. Do you want to talk a little bit about what are the rules and regulations when it comes to the political signs? Do they have to be down by a certain date, or once the election is over, can people take them and burn them if they want to, even though they weren't theirs?
Well, I don't believe you can take anything that's not yours. So pretty sure that's the law regarding stealing. But if you do own it, you can do what you want with it. We've had very few problems with people stealing signs that did not belong to them or that were on private property. We've had a couple. It's not necessarily an issue. Another issue we kind of run into is people placing signs on other people's property, which can also be removed. But it's not really a huge issue out here in West Bloomfield. I think that people really are really trying to find the right way to say this, are really understanding and respecting other people's rights out here in West Bloomfield, which is a fantastic reason why this community is so great.
We do come from a very diverse community, and so let's hope that peacefulness does continue into the next few days as well. Lieutenant, thank you so much for being with us. Anything that I didn't ask, maybe that you want the public to know?
Well, I was a little surprised you didn't ask me about my beard here. I know it's a little gray. Just wanted to share with...
It's November, right? No Shave November?
Yeah, so we take that to the next level a little bit, and the Police Foundation kind of organizes a charity fundraiser. Every officer makes a donation to be able to grow out their beard for the month of November. And I'm proud to announce that we raised over $2,500, and that's going to be donated to 5 different charities in the area.
That's awesome. Here, I just thought you were going for the movie star look.
No, thank you, but no.
Hey, if people still want to donate, how can they do so?
If you go onto the Facebook website, I believe there's a button at the top of each log. The one that's open to the public is the Pink Fund, which obviously supports breast cancer patients and treatments, and you can go donate there. And as far as the beard one, I think we just kept it in-house. It's mostly donated by the officers, but I'm sure if you contacted the West Bloomfield Police Foundation through the Facebook page, I'm sure they'd be happy to accept any donations.
And I'm wondering how much the wives are donating for you guys to actually be able to shave them.
We never thought about that. We did try to have a little contest last year to see who had the best beard, but the same guy wins every year, so we might not do that.
No, I think you need to take up my angle. I'm sure a lot of wives will be donating to that to be able to get to shave off those beards a little bit early.
I get you, to get rid of them. I understand.
Exactly,
yeah, that's a fair point.
Exactly. Well, you rock it.
Maybe you could organize
that
for us.
I'll be your PR person. I will say you rock the look very well, but it's not so becoming on all officers and all men.
Well, thank you so much.
Well, we want to say thank you for your time this morning, and also thank you to your entire team over there and all of the officers as well as the support staff as well for the work that you do each and every day to help keep our communities safe. It seems to be that we are turning a bit of a tide on the rhetoric about defunding the police. That terminology seemed to not go over so well, and a lot of people understanding we need police officers, and we definitely need the support from all the good work that you and all of the other officers over there at the West Bloomfield Police Department are doing to keep us safe. So thank you so much, and we wish you the best of luck going forward as well.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate the continued support of the community. We really enjoy that.